Storybook Prince Gaston is here. Of course, he's not called Storybook Prince Gaston now. Is he called Brave Prince Gaston now, or Storybook Brave Gaston, or something like that? Anyway, I really like him. Of course, he used to be in Memphis Wrestling. He was one half of the tag team champions, and I miss him, you know. But now he's with EPW, Follocks. Delighted with that. He will fight later on. And EPW was okay this week. It was Jimmy and Jax Rocks, who's actually he's much smoother this week on commentary. Very nice. And last week I missed it, but Daniel Nova, really did sell out last week. That's why it was called the Big Sellout, I suppose. And he's joined that group, what they called, with Dorian Vane and Eli Knox, but not Andrew Bates anymore. Now, more of that in a bit. But first of all, we've got Little Bit versus Makkari Kandy. Now, EPW are really liking Little Bit, aren't they? And I think they're going to do quite a lot with her. So, she is going to win this. I think we can safely say. She hits a bulldog and an eat defeat. A nice, quick, and quite violent, actually, arm drags by Makkari Kandy. And then a nasty knee to the face. I have to say, it was such an extraordinary knee that it sounded like a whip crack going off. And although it was a long shot from the hard cam, you could really hear it. It's extraordinary, actually. So anyway, Kandy then gets and hits a jawbreaker, a snapmare, wants a pin from a snapmare. It's not going to get that. But she almost does. Little Bit gets her foot on the ropes. And then DDT, Diana Taylor, who's had some trouble with a Little Bit recently. She's the champion, isn't she? Is she the champion of... No, she's not. The Nix is the champion of EPW. Diana Taylor is the champion of Memphis, isn't she? Yes, I keep getting these mixed up, you see. This is from Mississippi. M's, I's, S's, P's, I's again. And anyway, she's out, caused some trouble. She's on the apron and gets smacked by a Little Bit with brass knucks. We're told, I couldn't see them, we're told it is. And then smacks Kandy with the brass knucks as well. The ref doesn't see it, and it's a pin. Now, Elijah Owens is just about to have his match. And DC, Daniel Cross, is nowhere to be seen. He's facing Tony Dabs, Hunter's dad. And bad attitude, Tony Dabs, that is. Bad attitude. And he's rung him 8 times, and he won't pick up. I don't know why. I suspect either he's kicked you to the curb, Elijah, or because you're not winning very much, maybe, or he's been maybe taken hostage or something. Maybe, I don't know. Whatever it is, he's got to fight Tony Dabs alone. And early on, bald, or rather shaven-headed, Tony says that Elijah Owens pulled his hair. Yes, because Owens is straight to a headlock. It is worked in that way. Dabs then gets a choke. Fans are quite frenetic. They're booing him. And I think there's a "you suck" chant as well. There's my note, you see. There's a "you suck" chant as well, I think. Now, we've got at one point, the ref doesn't see this. I don't know how, because it is less than 5 foot away from him. It's Tony Dabs on his knees, just delivering a nut shot, a punch right to the twig and berries. I suspect it hit the twig and the berries of Elijah Owens. And he doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. And then there's an enhanced punch, another one from Tony Dabs. The referee doesn't see that either. What are you doing, ref? And that's a roll up for the pin. It was okay. That's about it, really. But Storybook Brave Gaston, that's what he's called now. Yeah, that's it. Versus Wonderboy, WB, for the Apex belt. You see, early on, just we start this show, we've got Gaston saying he can't stand superheroes. That's a cue for Wonderboy to come out to say, I will fight for the heart of EPW. And they are fighting, actually, for the Apex belt. Now, he's not a number one contender, Prince Gaston, but he sort of pushed his way in by being nasty. That's what you can do in wrestling. By being nasty, you can do that. So, as wrestling entertainment to start, they do a sort of, I can get the crowd to cheer louder than you can thing. And Gaston, as soon as Wonderboy does his pose, Gaston bails as if to say, that's your finishing manoeuvre. I don't like it. If I have to look at it, I'll probably lose. Yeah. Anyway, you get some Wonderboy super punches. Can't call them Superman punches. They call them super punches. Yeah. And a high crossbody, well, a kind of medium crossbody for a 2 count. But Gaston gets some knees in the corner, gets a slam. Then he does that cavorting, that kind of Scottish dancing thing he does. It's beautiful. I love all that. It looks so silly. Hits a side slam, but Wonderboy's back with some punches. Then he misses a leap in the corner, but comes back to keep his belt with a rather smooth and very nicely done, but really unadorned, there's nothing special about it, splash off the top. It was okay. And as I mentioned earlier, we've now got Daniel Nova with Eli Knox, and it seems the mouthpiece now of this new organisation. What are they called again? I can't remember. And he says they had to get rid of some flesh or fat or something. And I presume that's Andrew Bates. I presume they've kicked him to the curb. And here comes Marco Harris. Vane wants Marco Harris. Harris wants Vane. They surround the ring, and here comes Eddie Edwards. Right, the whole episode is called Why is Eddie Edwards Here? And when he gets out from TNA, of course, he's a big guest, they run out of time. If you'd have just cut the interview, perhaps 2 or 3 minutes shorter, you could have got a bit more time in there with Eddie Edwards, and they could have maybe shaken hands or something, and you'd think, but he just runs out. You assume he's there to help Marco, because that's a wrestling trope, but doesn't do anything, and that's it. It wasn't the best episode of EPW, this, but it's still enjoyable. That's what I like about EPW. It is a really lovely feeling, and it will generally be better than this episode. And I'm looking forward to the next one because I know I will enjoy it. I usually do. And even this one. That's the sign of a good promotion, isn't it? Ta-ta.